Hey, it's Blacks here, and I'm here with another review video on Steven Universe's What's Your Problem? Yeah, I didn't really know if I would go over this episode or not, but okay, sorry, I feel just to make a video anyways. But real quick, before we even starting the review, I'm just gonna voice my opinion. My opinion doesn't matter. It's just how I personally feel, and you may feel or think otherwise. But personally, I didn't really like this episode. I read the episode's description almost a week ago, and just like everyone else, I could tell it was going to be a episode mainly focused on character development. I was able to accept that though. Although the description was Amethyst convinced Steven to take a day off, I was hoping that the end would have a cliffhanger and leave me begging for more, or that it'll have a twist. This episode's ending kinda has a cliffhanger, with them deciding to look for Ruby, then it cuts off. But I thought there would have been a song in this episode since it wasn't really that hyped and just based on character development. And you can really develop someone by making them have a song. Just like in Can't Go Back, we got character development from Lapis singing a song and all. Though it was really thrown out the window right after. I'm not saying I hate this episode though, but I do have some nice things to say. It was nice to know how Amethyst is taking on the situation and how she really feels about being in this mess, even though she weren't really around after the war. She wasn't around during the war. But this is a long intro. I'll finally be quiet and shut up and start this review. My 2 cents are over. The episode starts off with where Now We're Falling Apart ended. You basically see Steven, Pearl, and Sapphire walk up to a note that has Sapphire Ray's name on it. See what I did there? Of course you did. I'm not funny. Okay, whatever. But they read the note and then it tells us about that Ruby decides that she should really think about herself and that she's running away. Sapphire begins to cry. We look at Amethyst. She's on Steven's bed playing video games and she looks like she doesn't want to be a part of that mess, like she could care less. And she has nothing to do with it because it's none of her business. They ask her where Ruby is and she doesn't really know. And to be honest, she doesn't really care. Sapphire's just moping, and then Pearl realizes that if Ruby doesn't come back, then there'll be no Garnet. And she don't know how the team will function if there's no Garnet, because they're a perfect fusion and they're perfect for each other. So then she starts to cry too. Never mind, I take that back. They're not the perfect fusion. I wouldn't say they're the perfect fusion, but I'll say they're perfect for each other. Steven sees this all happening and he just says that he's gonna go ahead and look for Ruby. But Amethyst doesn't really want him to go. Steven then leaves Amethyst by herself. Then Amethyst just says, wait up, I'm going to. I wouldn't really stay either because Amethyst is just laying there chilling and trying to play video games. And then 2 gems just come in front of her crying and moping. I would leave too, if I was in that situation. They then go and try to look for Ruby and nothing. They stop by Fish Stew Pizza to eat and talk about the Pink Diamond situation. Then we come to find out that Amethyst isn't really taking it so well. She's mad because she's in this situation and she was with them after the war and not during or before. And that Steven's in this situation also and he doesn't even have anything to do with it. It's not his fault why none of this is happening. It's everybody else's problem but theirs. And once again, I don't blame Amethyst for thinking this way, for saying this. They overhear Jenny and Kiki having a conversation about Greg giving one of them a huge tip. That didn't sound right. But anyway, they said Greg was with some girl and she was crying so much that her face was red. She was red. And that isn't really why she's red. We all know that, I guess. She is red. You're welcome for pointing out the obvious that everybody else already knows. I really don't know why I pointed it out, but they realize it's Ruby. Then Amethyst rushes out the restaurant to go find Ruby. But Steven stops her. He wants her to calm down and basically relax because he knows that it's not her problem and he tries to help her because he knows that she isn't feeling good. She's feeling very bad and he just wants her to stop and take a day off with him, I guess. They end up crashing after Amethyst turns into the helicopter, and Amethyst gives this whole speech about her not being responsible for what Rose did, and that she's tired of being stuck in the past, and that she's ending it all. What exactly is she ending? I don't know. I guess her feeling like she's a part of it with her not being a part. Never mind, I'm making no sense. Scratch that. She also talks about Pearl not being responsible for it, Garnet not being responsible for it, or Steven. Nobody is but Rose. Steven realizes that Amethyst wasn't trying to get Steven to not care about this situation like he thought she did, but to get him to feel better. He also says that she's the most mature crystal gem. Well, I guess you could say that in a way because Garnet split up about this whole situation. Pearl literally doesn't know what to do without Garnet, and Ruby literally ran away. But Amethyst is trying to hold herself together and not fall apart on Steven. Sure, Amethyst might be childish or reckless now and then, but that is very mature of her. They get up and go decide to look for Ruby, and the episode ends there. While they're in the air, shapeshifted as a helicopter. This episode was to me. I'm really hoping that tomorrow's episode will make it up to me, because I know it's must be a sequel to The Answer, so I'm guessing that must be good. I'll keep my expectations high for tomorrow's episode. But anyways, this video is over. Like if you like, subscribe if you're new, want more content from me, comment, because why not? I never get those anyways. And that'll be all.